Hi everyone, in this video we are going to discuss about translation of a point on the Cartesian coordinate plane. Suppose we take this Cartesian coordinate plane with the x and y axis here, and suppose we have a point P whose location is 2, 3. It's in the first quadrant and the coordinate of point P is actually 2, 3. Now we want to find out what will happen if we move this point in a certain direction by a few units. So suppose I move this point up by 1 unit, for example, right? So then guess what will happen? Well, the x coordinate will remain same because I am not moving it left or right. I am simply moving it up, which is along the y-axis. That means the y-coordinate will change. Now, because I am moving it up, whether y-coordinate will increase or decrease? Well, actually the y-coordinate will increase because I am moving up. That means I am changing its position up by 1 more unit in the positive y-axis direction. So then the coordinate of the point will become 2, 4 because I am moving it up by 1 unit, right? So if the point was right here, let me erase this and let me say that if the point was right here and then with the green dot I am showing that I have moved it up by 1 unit, then the new coordinate or the new location, new coordinate of the point would be 2, 4 because I have moved it up by 1 unit. Now let's take another example. Say suppose, well, in this case our P, the pink point, the pink one P, right? So let me write it down here. So our pink colored P is actually at 2, 3. Now suppose we now want to move this pink point down by 1 unit. So if we move it down by 1 unit, where it will come? Well, it will be shifted to this location right here, the green dot. The green dot will be the new location of this point. So if we move it down by 1 unit, then again you see the x coordinate is not changing. X coordinate is still 2, but the y coordinate is now going to reduce by 1 unit because I am moving it down. Down means I am moving it in the negative y direction. So that means that when you translate, or rather when you move a point on the Cartesian coordinate plane down by 1 unit, your y coordinate value reduces by 1. Your x coordinate value remains the same. So that is the concept of moving it up or down, right? Now let's talk about moving a point to the right and left. So now we are going to try and see what will happen if we move the point P to the right by say 2 units maybe, or 1 unit, doesn't matter, right? So suppose I move it to the right by 2 units. That means right there parallel to the x-axis, I simply move that point to the new location, which is the green dot. And now what will be the coordinate of the new location? Well, the coordinate now you see, because I am moving it to the right, which is along the positive x-axis, right direction means positive x-axis direction. That means the x coordinate will increase, but the y coordinate will not change, right? So in this case, what will be the new coordinate? Well, the new coordinate will be 4, 3. Our original location was 2, 3. Now it will be 4, 3 because I am moving it by 2 units to the right hand side, alright? And now let's talk about moving a point to the left. So suppose I move this point by 1 unit to the left. So if I move it by 1 unit to the left, then how is it going to look like? Well, its new location will be the green dot again, right? So at the green dot, what will be the coordinate of that point? Well, because I am moving it to the left, the change is happening along the x-axis. So now I am actually going in the negative direction of x-axis, or towards the direction of negative x-axis, right? So that means our x coordinate will be reduced by 1 unit because I moved it to the left by 1 unit. So the x coordinate will reduce. How about the y coordinate? Well, the y coordinate will remain same because I am not moving it up or down. It will remain same, right? So moving to the left will reduce the x coordinate. Moving to the right will increase the x coordinate. Moving up will increase the y coordinate. Moving down will decrease the y coordinate. Now let's take this one combined situation where we say that, hey, you know what, I'm actually moving it by 1 unit to the right and then 1 unit down. So we are moving this point 1 unit to the right, which will be kind of this location where my pen pointer is, and then we are moving it down by 1 unit. So ultimately from here, from there, we are coming to this location right here, the larger green dot right there, the larger green dot, that is the final location. So what we did? Well, we moved the point to the right by 1 1 unit, and then we moved it down by 1 unit. It doesn't have to be 1 unit always. You can move it by 5 unit, 10 unit. You just need to understand what happens to the coordinate, right? Meaning when you go to the new location, what should be your coordinate. So now here we have moved it to the right by 1 unit. That means when we came to this point, now I'm going to use a white kind of dot here. So when we first came to this white dot, which is 1 unit to the right, our location at that point was 3, 3, because our original location was 2, 3, and then we go to the right hand side by 1 unit. So then our new location, the white dot, becomes 3, 3, and then we move it down by 1 unit. So now it will become 3, 2. Now we are going to lose 1 unit for the y coordinate also. So for the x coordinate, 1 unit increased, and then for the y coordinate, 1 unit decreased. So the final location will be 3, 2. So this location right here, if the new location of point P, let's say suppose P prime, and that will be 3, 2. That will be the coordinate of the new location of P. So what would be the general rule then for translation? Well, let me write it down first, then we'll discuss. So here I have noted down 4 points. The first point I have said, move the point P that has a coordinate of x, y. If we move that point to the right by k units, then the coordinate of the new location would be x plus k, y, because we are moving it in the positive x direction. Similarly, if we move that point to the left by k units, then the new coordinates would be x minus k, y. And then if we move the point up by k units, then the coordinate of the new location would be x, y plus k. And also if we move the point down by k units, then the coordinate of the new location would be x, y minus k. Now let's take an example. Suppose we have a point at location, let's say I'm taking this one example right here. I'm writing in green color. So our example is, let's say we have a point at location 5, 10, and we are moving it up by 3 units, and then we are moving to the right by 4 units. Let's say, right? So we move it up by 3 units, and then we move it to the right by 4 units. So what would be the coordinate of the new location? If we say that would be P prime, then what would be the x coordinate? Well, x coordinate is that we are moving it to the right, meaning positive x direction, by 4 units. So it will be 5 plus 4, which is 9 actually. So let me just write 5 plus 4. That is our new x coordinate. And then what would be the new y coordinate? Well, you see we are moving it up by 3 units. Our y coordinate location was 10. And now again we moved it up by 3 units, so now it will be 10 plus 3. So from here we say then the location, the new location P prime would be 9, 13. So no matter what is the coordinate of the original point, based on how many units we are moving in which direction, whether it's to the right, to the left, or up or down, you can pretty much follow this formula right here. Well, these are actually not formula, they are just simple common sense thing that whenever we move a point to the right in the positive x direction, obviously its x coordinate going to increase. If we move it left in the negative x direction, obviously its x coordinate going to decrease. If we move the point up by certain units, obviously its y coordinate would increase, and if we move the point down by a few units, then obviously its y coordinate will decrease. So no matter what is the coordinate of the original point, you can do this calculation very easily. Always keep in mind that right means positive x direction, that means x coordinate will increase. Left means negative x direction, that means x coordinate will decrease. Up means positive y direction, so y coordinate would increase, and down means negative y direction, that means y coordinate would decrease. On a Cartesian coordinate plane, if you can visualize that, hey, I have a point here and it's moving up or down or left or right, then I think you should be able to manage it easily. Just try to visualize the picture. I hope everything made sense so far. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.